That's your favorite. Oh, I think we live.
Oh
We live.
yeah.
Another Friday night live, March 28th, Friday night live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Financial Friday. Financial Friday, where we are rising out of our financial slumps and thriving in financial freedom. I'm your host, Dr. A.D. Burns, and this is my co-host, Brother Minister Chief James Jones. How's it going, Chief Jones?
Man, it's going good, Pastor. I'm glad I was able to make it through this whole week. We
Okay.
got a lot of good things going on and a lot of things are happening. So with all that being said, I'm overly joyed.
All right, all right, all right. It's always good to be able to make it through another week, especially when you're grinding. And
Oh
speaking of
yeah.
grinding,
Let me start off for all the people taking notes. Hello everybody and good evening to all my grinders. Oh yeah. We're about to get it now.
then we got to get it. We are about to get it. We
Yes,
are.
yes, yes.
It's getting closer to our release date. We're setting up a Financial Friday live. We're gonna have some food. We're gonna do a book signing. We're gonna release our book, and we're excited about that. We'll be announcing the dates probably next week. Once
Yeah.
our make sure we clear our venue and everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been quite a journey. When you say,
Yes, yes, yes. It's been a long time coming. But I do know my change gonna come. Yes, it is.
I think I'm missing something. Where I'm missing something.
Uh,
But change is gonna come. So, Financial Friday is all about helping people to experience financial freedom.
yes, yes, yes,
And for those who are financial free, being able to help you to go to the next level. And so we're giving you some tips and points and helping you to get your finances together so that you can experience financial freedom. It's nothing like having financial freedom. Would you say, James?
yes. It is ecstatic to have financial freedom. It
All
is
right.
fun.
Okay. Good evening. Minister Rodney is tuned in from Mississippi. How you doing, Minister Rodney?
Woo.
I
Yes,
pray the weather is good down there. You eat some good catfish. Yeah, down at Mississippi catfish. Yes, sir. Well, tonight we just about made it through our 90-day challenge. Our 90-day challenge was designed to help you to create some good habits and get rid of some bad habits. Flowing in the six figure, we call it the six figure anointing. Flowing
yes,
in the
yes,
six figure anointing is not by accident. It's something that's intentional and on purpose. And so there's different wheels that has to be turning in order to be able to flow into six figures. And so over the 90 days, we've been challenging you to create some new habits, get rid of some more old habits, and begin to get yourself ready to be able to handle it. The Bible talks about in Luke, whom much is given, much is required. He talks about if you are faithful over another man's, he'll give you your own. He talks about um, if you faithful over a little, he'll give you much. And so a couple of them in Luke, the first one may not be, but nevertheless, it is in the Bible. It talks about, it starts with us being faithful over what we have. And so over the 90-day challenge, we've been trying to help you so that you can shift your life to become faithful over what you have. If you've been following us and doing anything that we've been sharing with you, by now you ought to see some progress. You ought to have some type of money market account or some type of CD that you can get in them very little. We
yes,
showed you how to park your money in a savings and build it up so that you can take it and shift it into a CD. Some others you may have been working on entering into the stock market. Be careful. We talked about not using money that you can't afford to lose.
yes,
You've been talking about different areas in your life where You could trim down when it comes to how you're spending your money and not be a consumer of things, but learn how to, pass up those what you call them, James, those sodas at the checkout counter,
Impulsive buys. Oh yeah.
and so we've covered quite a few things that would help you if you're listening and put them into action. And I love the I think this is the best phrase ever, and that is baby steps.
Oh yeah.
Baby steps. Talk to us about baby steps. Miss Rodney says that it's 84 down there. Woo!
Yes.
84. Minister Pfeiffer, how you doing? Thank you for those pieces. I know I didn't get back to you, but they're excellent. I want to triple that amount that you did for us, and I would like to set it up so we can release it during our book release on our Financial Friday Live that we're going to be doing. And so,
Yes,
thank you, Minister Pfeiffer. Send me the bill. No, send the bill to James. He can handle it. Uh, James, talk to us a little bit about baby steps.
sir.
What do the whole baby step mean?
I mean, it's like everything else. If you want to turn a whole ship, if you want to transform your all your habits, if you want to put yourself in the best position in life, you have to transition. There's only two ways to transition: a life or death situation, or the consistent new ideas that you are following. Those are baby steps. Every day you got to wake up and tell yourself, "I'm gonna make it." Every day you got to wake up and tell yourself, "I got this," until those habits become so routine and yet they're all spontaneous. So then you are firing back and saying, "Oh yeah, I know I'm good. Oh yeah, I know today's gonna be that day I close that deal. Today is the day I'm gonna save that money." And then you start saving all that money. And then you start creating and doing those habits that you've been practicing. So now you're not practicing on doing a habit, you're just doing what you always do. And those are the things that once we start doing, those cultivate so much more.
Yeah,
uh, yeah.
yeah, no,
But
that's good. That's good. It is important for us to understand that because everybody don't move at the same pace, and if you're not careful, you'll get discouraged because it's not coming together fast enough for you. But we're talking baby steps. I don't know if you say baby step, James, or you say small steps. What do you say?
I say, I say small steps.
Small steps. That's the one. Let me write it
Yes.
down. Small steps.
Okay, hold on. If you write it down, if you take notes, it's small adjustments.
Small adjustments. That's it. That's what you say.
Small, small
Small.
adjustments in the right area will produce great results.
Yes. Small
And
adjustments. That's the word, not baby.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta write that
but
down.
I did know what you're talking about though. Don't worry, I knew exactly what you're talking about because small adjustments a little bit. Small adjustments is knowing where you want to go. That's where a vision is the most is most effective because you know where you want to go. You see your vision. And how do you climb to the top of the mountain? Small adjustments.
Yeah.
How do you get down the mountain? Small adjustments.
Hmm.
How do you put yourself in the right glide path? No, there is no runner that trains for the Olympics and wakes up the same day and be like, I'm gonna go out there. No, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Everyone that's on that starting line. So if you look around and you see everybody on the Olympics, it's not just the guy who takes first or second. Remember, the guy who's in number 8 still can beat everybody else in the world. So, and too often we forget that if I'm on the stage running against Usain Bolt, that means I'm fast enough to be in his preview. That means I'm still out there beating most of the world.
Yeah.
All the world is still eating my dust. And I think we get caught up in those things of trying to be the one instead of trying to run our race.
Yeah.
And when we start making those small adjustments and stop looking to our left and right and just run our race, and our race is now starting to become more effective, we can run it there with Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Whether he win or lose, whether I win or lose, that's not the deal. The deal is I ran my race. I ran for my time,
Yeah.
and I did the best that I knew I could do. And that's how the journey starts. That's when you're that, and that's also how your journey ends. when you hit your own perfection.
And using that analogy is very important that you also note that you're making progress, even though you may not run the race against what's his name, Usain Bolt. You know, you may not win the race, but you're further than where you were. You know, and so let's say you don't hit your six
Yeah,
figures this year, and you land at 60,000. I mean, that's still further than where you were. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so small adjustments, it says two things. One, it says small, so you know you're not required to take these giant leaps. And then two, it says adjustments. So then there's a series of adjustments that we need to
yeah.
make and tweak as we head towards that six figure anointing. Yeah, that six figure flow. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, it's like everything else. Usain Bolt had this one quote. It took him 4 years to drop 4 seconds. Some people can't last. Some people can't even last in their determination for 2 months.
Mhm.
But this man, just to drop 4 seconds on his time, 4 seconds. Now, to some people, 4 seconds don't seem like a lot. But when you're in his profession, 4 seconds is a lot. But it's a lot because he believes it's a lot. And that's what's those small adjustments. Getting yourself a coach, getting yourself trained, getting yourself in the right position, asking the hard questions. I'm this far. What am I not doing to get to that next level? I know I'm close, but what am I not doing? And being able to be real with yourself. Because I could have been in the same boat that I was in 20 years ago because I was making money, but that money wasn't producing what I wanted to produce. And yes, I made more money, but
Mhm.
that more money just got me in the same rut or a bigger rut than what I was in. It wasn't until I started asking those hard questions. What am I not doing? Where am I not going? Who am I not talking to? And when I once I start making those small adjustments of talking to the right people, being in the right limelight, talking to the right coaches, seeing where my money is going, tracking it, and then start making those adjustments. And those adjustments wasn't great. It was small adjustments. Okay, cool. Maybe I don't need to eat out every single day.
Yeah.
Maybe I could wait till the weekend. Maybe I don't need to spend my money frivolously. I may want to plan on my money. These are all small adjustments.
Yeah.
And your money is still leaving. Let me make sure everybody knows your money is leaving your pocket no matter what you want to do with it.
Mhm.
The question is, where are you putting it? Are you putting it in vehicles that would be for the future, or are you putting it in vehicles that you will eat for right now? And and the truth of the matter is, I was eating all my money or burning through it, and I wasn't properly saving my money. So then I started properly saving $10, properly saving 50, and that 10 turned to 100, that 50 turned to 500, and then I was able to start putting those inside of vehicles or assets that start making passive income.
Yeah, yeah. I heard somebody, I think it was Miles Monroe, he said, and I might get it wrong, but I'll be close. He said that poor people talk about money, rich people spend money, wealthy people grow money. You know,
that is that is a true statement.
and so we want to get to the place where we're growing money. You know, that
Yes.
we're making wise decisions, assigning our money to places that they can bring increase on the money, and not being a consumer mind where we're spending money on stuff that has no real, I mean, the stuff get old. I'm not saying don't enjoy life, but we're saying that make sure that you're setting up your timeline and you're hitting your milestones and you're securing your financial freedom before you get to a place where you turn around and you have $50,000 through your using Financial Friday uh, uh, tips and tools, and then you take the 50,000 and you wipe it out and go buy your car. You know what I mean? That's
Don't do it.
yeah.
Don't do
You
it.
know, you
Uh,
start buying, clothes and stuff like that or jewelry, and,
yeah.
and you eat it up. No, get in the flow and make it a lifestyle. And then as you get down the road, then position yourself that I always mess up his name, Robert Kaziasi, but
Robert Kiyosaki.
yeah,
Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki.
get to a place where, okay, you want to buy a car, okay, find out how much the car note is. Car note is going to be, okay, $1,000 a month. Okay, go buy your duplex and then have the lower level pay for the duplex, whatever that note is. In the upper level, that money goes towards your car note, you know.
Oh, you've been listening. Oh, yes, that's exactly. I think I told that same situation to my cousin. I told it to my friends. I told it to my brothers. I was like, "That's how you make money.
Yeah,
That's exactly how your money start making money."
we're in the
So,
business of growing money.
so if no one took notes, that's a note dropper right there. If you think you need it, buy some property. Let the property pay for the luxury item that you want.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't have said that better myself, Pastor. That was so cool. Yes.
I,
Yes.
I'm the host, but I'm also a student. I'm a lifelong learner. Speaking of
Yeah.
learning, what is our lesson for tonight?
Okay, so our lesson is to getting back into setting up future accounts. That's really big for us to make sure we got future accounts. So let me go back one. Okay, so when we start off this, we was talking about trust programs. We was talking about trust programs, IRAs, 401ks, 201ks. We was talking about doing future stuff. So I had to jump back and say, well, let's go into it, right? How do you set yourself up to start spending for the future? One, you have to spend less. That means you have to have the idea or goals to actually spend less. Now, it was a formula put out called 10, 10, 40, 20, 10, 5, 5 that was given to me by God. That's the formula that I use for, I want to say, going on about 2.5 to 3 decades. So that's one thing that everybody needs to really be looking at is how much of my money is leaving, how much of my money is staying. So spending less, save to invest, right? Because you're saving to invest for the future, whether it's stocks and bonds, whether it's real estate. I can't get into it enough because we need to understand that what you save is what you save in and what you invest. If you invest in properly, excuse me, you will see a result. And that's the beauty of compound interest. We did talk about that about 2 weeks ago. If you didn't see it, look into it. How do you invest for the future? Number three is avoiding and managing debt wisely. There's a whole series on what is bad debt and what is good debt. I will talk about that, and I think I did talk about that. So I think I talked about that a little bit later, but I'll go back into it more. Um, Too often we invest heavily on bad debt, and we don't spend enough time or investments on good debt. So a general rule of thumb is if it appreciates, it's good debt. If it depreciates, then it's bad debt. That's the easiest way to the easiest way to talk about it. So if you buy a car, most cars depreciate because they're not collectibles. So if you was to spend a lot of money on a car that you pretty much can't afford, that's bad debt. If you spend a lot of money that you can't afford on a house, that's good debt, but you're using it incorrectly because you're putting yourself in a bad situation. And I say that because if you're going to spend $2,000 on a house, if you can afford that 2,000 a month, that's a good thing. If you can't afford 2,000 a month, that's a bad thing. Likewise, if you was to buy a car that's $650, or correction, it's costing you more than $650 per month for the car, and it's not appreciating, right? That may be good for some, that may be bad for others. It would be more beneficial for everyone if we was to buy a house that we can afford. And one thing that I try to stress more or less is that buying property that will make you money. So if I bought a duplex and that duplex brought in about 2,000 a month, and I stayed inside an apartment that I only had to spend $500 a month, I'm still netting $1,500 a month. It's some other fees and stuff I have to take care of, but I'm still netting a majority of my money, and I can use that to buy the things in which I need. That was the example that Pastor Burns was just talking about earlier. So you always want to try to do that. The funny part is we talked about this. So number four is you got to budget and track your spending. We talk heavily about this because in the beginning you need to know what you're spending money on. It doesn't have to be a continuous process. It doesn't have to be something that we do every single day, but it needs to be something that we track and that we have a budget for. Paz, you got anything you want to talk about the first four?
Oh no, we're doing good, and we can't reiterate enough how, this whole small adjustments, because I know it seems overwhelming, and at first when you get started, it seemed like, when you're looking at, okay, buying a house versus you feeling like you really need to buy a car right now, or you feel like you really need to, buy something else right now. Um, it's important that we embrace short-term discomfort. All right.
Yeah.
And in order to experience long-term benefit, we're going to have to be able to embrace short-term discomfort. It's more beneficial to be discomfort for a short term and then be financially free long term than it would be to delay your financial freedom to be able to address something that can be addressed later, if that makes sense to you. And
Yes.
so that's one of the biggest problems in our community is, you know, we don't embrace short term discomfort. You know, we
Yeah.
we throw money at it. Um, Hello, Miss Jackie. Miss Jackie is tuned in with us tonight, and
Good
so
evening.
those are doable steps. And
Yeah.
one of the steps is at this the size that you could take. So
Yeah.
if you can only do a small, do a small. If you can do a medium. Whatever, wherever you are, it'll work from top to bottom. You know, what they say, principle work for anybody, anywhere, at any
Anywhere.
time.
Anything.
And so
Yes. Yes.
it'll work for you, but you got to work it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the big thing about that is that some people may be spending 105%. If you're spending at 105% of your income, you may not see that you're spending 105%. You may think that you're just running out of some money.
Hmm.
But the truth of the matter is you're overspending on how much income you got. And one thing in which I was very okay, I'm not going to say who it is, but somebody that I know that's close to me, what they would do is they will use their tax money to just leverage them off. So it's not like the tax money was planned on doing anything. It was just the tax money was a catch up to all the bills that they was behind on. And all I can tell you is if that's the case, set a goal, set a plan, put money to the side so you can start catching up on those bills. So when you do get your taxes back, you have a plan other than trying to catch up on past debt, but trying to put yourself in a better financial situation for the future. Uh, when I say live, it's I did have some feedback from this. So one of the people in which I talk about is a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's one of the four staple books that I talk about. That if you go into one of our earlier programs, Robert Kiyosaki said that in order for him to buy an apartment complex, he lived in his car, him and his wife. They worked jobs, they came back and they lived in a car for about, I think it was 2 years. Either it's a year and a half to 2 years. They lived in a car just so they can save enough money to buy an apartment building. Now, am I telling you to live in your car? No. I'm giving you an example of what the extremes could be. For, let's say you take Bill Gates. Bill Gates typically don't buy a new vehicle. He got the same old truck that he had for about the last 30 years. Those are just ways to to push what you had even longer. I think every car I had hit over 200,000 miles before I got rid of it. Why? Because that's just what it is. It's part of the process. And it's one of those things, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But both answers are okay. The main goal is that you have a goal. And the main thing that you do is that you set out to do what your goals are.
Hmm.
Because if you think living in your car is too much, don't live in your car. If you think driving a car for over 200 miles is too much, then don't drive a car for over 200 miles. However, you do have to make adjustments in order to get to where you want to be. If it's starting up a new Facebook, starting up a new YouTube, selling Avon, Amway, Cutco, going door to door, doing Uber or Lyft, all of those are ways in which a person can increase their income. The main thing I can tell you is do what you're comfortable with and make the adjustments to get it done. And if you find yourself in a position where all of your ideas are not coming back good, then you may want to take some advice, and you got to make that hard decision to get to where you need to be.
No, that's good information. I mean, we got to understand that, there's got to be some sacrifice. You talk about Robert Kiyosaki living in his car for 2 years, but now you look at him for however many years after that is being. Take a guess,
Yeah.
James. Uh, let's take a guess. How many years
Almost
has it been?
40.
40 years of
40 years.
living at the level that he's been living, you know, uh, so 2 years sacrifice for 40 years of financial freedom, and each year going higher and higher. And I'm talking about financial freedom to the highest, you know what I mean? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure he could, he could walk in somewhere and, spend $1 million and it not hurt him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so financial freedom to the degree that you are able to not be worried about the common things, and that you're able to go and do what you want to do. 2 year sacrifice is worth it. And now I'm with James. Now, we're not telling you to live in your car, but we are saying that there has to be some sacrifice on the front end. And so you have to be willing. And our sacrifice is really not even sacrifice. We talk about not going out to eat every day. That's not really a sacrifice. But because it's a lifestyle, it becomes a sacrifice. But that's just something. Mom and them will put on a pot of beans, and that
Oh,
thing would last them, the whole week. Or things we talk about sacrificing. We talking about
yeah.
buying a Chevrolet versus buying a Genesis, or
Yeah. That
Audi,
Benz.
Benz. You know what I mean?
BMW. Yeah.
So the thing we're talking about, sacrificing, is not really sacrifices, but they are because they're part of our lifestyle. But we're saying that you have to be willing to sacrifice on the front end, whatever that looks like to you, and so that you can benefit long term on the back end.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I bought a BMW, and it was a nice car. Really nice. I can afford it, I can accept the payments, but it wasn't getting me to where I need to be. As much horsepower, as fun as it was, guess where it wasn't doing? It wasn't getting me to where I need to be.
Mhm.
So that's one of the sacrifices I had to make. So it wasn't that I do or don't like Chevy. I became accustomed to Chevy because Chevy would help me achieve the goals that I want to achieve. It's not that Chevy is a bad car or a bad brand. I like BMW. I like Toyota. But at the end of the day, how can I hit my goals more effectively with more and be more objective? It was a Chevy. The Chevy had the right price range. That's why I'm not buying the Escalade truck, the Chevy Tahoe. I'm in a regular car. It's a Chevy Cruze. It's not regular, but it's a nice car, and it can get me from point A to point B. I mean, I travel a lot, so I drive. So I bought a car that can do what I want to do for the amount of miles that I want to put on it.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with everybody else. The BMW could still get me there, but that V6, did I need a V6 in order to go from here to Chicago every day or from here to Racine every day? No, I could have did it with a four cylinder. So let me make the adjustment and get that four cylinder. And it comes with parts and repairs. Well, how much does it cost to keep up a BMW M3? Well, how much does it cost to keep up with a Chevy Cruze? Well, it's a night and day difference. So making that adjustments was something in which I felt needed to be done in order to achieve what I want to achieve. Small adjustments. I still got a car that can drive. I bought another car that can drive. I still got a car that got four wheels. I bought another car that had four wheels. I didn't stop being myself or stop doing what was necessary. I just made the adjustment so I can be put myself in a better position.
Yeah, yeah. Elder Perry
And
with us tonight. How you doing, Elder? He said Bill Gates lives in the same house as well. So, praise God.
yeah,
So we can do this. We can do this. All right.
I mean, yeah, some people like to imagine big things, but I tell you, if you have $1 million, you can redesign whatever house you in to make it look like whatever you want it to look like. I guarantee you. And if you don't like it, guess what? You can make all the improvements, sell it, and then go get the house that you want.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move on to the next ones is so moving back down the list, we got number five. I think it's going to come up on the screen. Yes, we have number five is diversifying your income. This is like the next tier. So I believe this is the next tier because of the fact that the first ones you could do at any point in time. Any point in time you could do it, and it's the start. The next tier is all the things that may take a little bit more time to do, and it takes a little bit more understanding. Diversifying your income and your investments. The reason why that's a big thing is because as you get older, you want to make sure you have more than one income flowing into your life. And when I'm saying that, I'm saying you can have two active incomes, you can have three active incomes, however your household functions. Some people have two parents and both parents have full-time jobs. If that's how you flow, then that's four active incomes. You also want to make sure you have passive incomes. When it talks about diversity, I'm not talking about just active income. You want to start building more passive incomes because when you're not working, you still want money to come in. So you got to have more passive incomes. Another thing is diversifying your investments. So whether your portfolio is just houses, you may want to think about something other than houses. You can do stocks, do bonds, do mutual funds. You don't have to just do houses. Or if you're just doing houses, you don't have to just do houses inside the city that you stay in. You can always go outside the city. Personally, I diversify everything. So I got different types of incomes and I have different things happening throughout various cities. So that's the way that you keep it. You always keep it current like that. It's like a mutual fund that you're building for yourself. Six is understanding the power of compound interest. As much as we talked about it, the reason why you need to understand the power of compound interest is that's how you multiply your money very quickly over time. That's the reason why a person like me would want to start off as early as possible versus somebody starting off when I'm in my 80s or 70s. I may live to 100, but starting off when I'm in my 20s will net me a bigger return when I'm at 100 than if I start off at 80 and then I get to 100 years old. So those things are really key. And compound interest can work with you or against you. Every credit card that you have, every loan that you have is all compounded interest against you. However, when you start making your own money and your money is compounding interest, then all those accounts that have compound interest is working in your favor and they're working to your good. The seventh one is protecting your wealth. I think we touched on it a little bit last week. So if you don't know, look back at last week. We did touch on it. So protecting your wealth, like how do you set up trust accounts? Do you have any core values? How are you running your businesses? Those things in which we sometimes don't look at, we need to because when you hit the next level, you want to make sure that you are purposed that your money is purposed to do what you have planned to do when you're no longer on this earth or physically on this earth. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we set everybody up that we want to set up. So having a will in place is pertinent. If you don't have a will, having a trust in place is pertinent. If you don't have a will or a trust, have a business in place and have people be the beneficiaries of your business. All of these do what they need to in order to protect your money from getting ripped off, going over to the courts, or other people arguing about what your actual thoughts are. If you don't make plans for your money will do what it will do. And that is everybody will have a handout to grab your money, even when you're gone. So it's responsible of you to protect your wealth. The last three is just good to knows. So you want to set up financial goals. It's not to say I can't hit them or what if I die. Don't be that pessimistic. You can hit your goals. So set clear financial goals. I want to make $500. I want to make $2,000. I want to make $30,000. I was just talking to a good friend of mine, and I was telling them what my goals was. They may not be in the same path as yours. They may be too high. They may be too low. But like all things, start off where you are. So if your goal is 500, 2,000, 20,000, 300,000, wherever you are, that's where you want to start off at. And you want to increase your financial knowledge. Just like now, when we talked about last month about compound interest, you want to tune in the next. You want to keep tuning in to Financial Fridays, and we, I know it's a plug. You want to tune in to Financial Fridays, and we'll have more information for you. So I know it's a plug, but it is true. Increase your financial knowledge. The stuff I'm telling you, take notes on. Take notes. Go back, read, become more educated, and then that way you will do everything. And the last one is a great need to know is be patient and disciplined. Patience is not going crazy when your money is going up and down. Patience is not going crazy because things don't look, not that they are not good, they don't look good.
Yeah.
And then be disciplined. That means if your money is to grow, you got to be disciplined. You can't take the plant out of the flower pot if it's still a seed. You got to let it sit there. You got to water it. You got to watch it grow. And when it grows, don't be so quick because it got to give it some time. It will bear fruit if it's in due season. And the same way we do plants, it's the same way your money goes. In due season, your money will bear fruit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that last one is the key to all of the rest of them, and that is that discipline. And I like
Yeah.
Dr. Pastor Bridget Hilliard definition of discipline is forced obedience is what her definition is, and I like that one. You have to force yourself to do what you know is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And we all know that we know what we're supposed to do most of the time, even when we don't do it. We know what we're supposed to do, and so we know we ain't supposed to eat a lot of pork or a lot of whatever. We know we're supposed to exercise. We know we're supposed to drink a lot of water. We know we ain't supposed to eat a lot of fried foods. There's a lot of different things that we know, but we don't always do. And so getting the information on Financial Friday, don't pig out and be obese with the information, but you're not doing it. You're not, faith without works is dead. And
Yeah.
so don't just be knowledgeable of what we're talking about, but get to the place where you are making those small adjustments and you are actually putting this into practice, and you'll look up for you know it and you'll be free as a bird.
But
Yeah.
some of the worst people, when I say the worst people, people are like, what do you mean the worst? I mean, some of the worst people that I can think of in business never been in business. They read a bunch of books, they got a lot of information, they can tell you a whole lot of risk that can happen, and they're very pessimistic. But the one thing they haven't did is the business. And like that is like the worst. There's no sense in studying without producing. There's no sense. If I studied how to play spades, but I never entered a spade game ever, well, what's the point in learning spades?
Yeah.
If I did all the domino understanding and they had a domino tournament next week and I studied dominoes for 24 hours straight, 7 days a week, And then the tournament was tomorrow, and I didn't enter the tournament. Well, what's the point in learning dominoes?
Yeah.
The same thing is true with financial knowledge. As much as you have, if you're not going to throw your hat in and build yourself so you do have passive income or educate people on how to have passive income, become the light, be the light that people can see.
Hmm.
I mean, even if you get your information from us, you can get your information from us, go to your job, or just in casual conversations and be like, you should diversify your income. And they be like, man, that sounds nice. You'd be like, yeah, I thought of it myself. I don't, I don't, I don't care about who, I don't care who gets the information. I care that the information is being spread. I don't care if you are super successful. I care that you are successful. And I think those are the goals in which we all need to strive for, is that I want you to utilize your information and take it in the steps that you can take it in. You don't got to be everybody, just be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so important. That's important because
Yeah.
we live in a world where we are tempted to imposter, be imposters,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to do because you got a lot of different elements that's working there. You want to be liked by somebody, or you want to be friends with someone, or you have a tendency of you masking who you are, and so it's easy to be an imposter in the world we live in today. But you got to be true to yourself. You got to be true to you, and you deserve to live in financial freedom. Your foreparents, paved the way for you to live
Yeah.
in financial freedom. They didn't go through all they went through, so that you can go through the same thing. And so we have to be responsible because we're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. We're standing on the shoulder of
Mhm.
our great grandparents, our grandparents, our parents, and further back than that. And we owe it to the generation that's coming up, our children. The Bible said, we looked at it last week, Proverbs 13:22, a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. And
Yes.
so we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our past generations, and we owe it to our future generations to start a trend line of the generations behind us being financial free.
Yeah.
I don't know it must be awesome to be like in the Rockefeller or the Kennedy family, you know what I mean? Where those kids, they come up and, it's enough wealth for generations. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I don't know how they distribute it to the kids coming up, but I imagine they train the kids that's coming up to be able to continue the legacy going forward. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right, Mr. Rodney. You say I deserve to live in financial freedom. That's right. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. Amen. I do agree. I do agree. I mean, it's like when I was like couple people that I mimic some of the stuff I do off of is that I understood later on. So I didn't get it at my earliest. It took me a while to get these teachings in order and then get the disciplines in order. Because I think just like karate is a discipline, so is financial knowledge. It's a discipline. It's something that if you learn it correctly, they call it what's that, mental judo? Like you go, whoa, like it's mental judo. It's like, how do you get from point A to point B? Well, it 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 all stems on what do you know and how are you utilizing it? And I try to utilize that completely, because the people that I know, the people that I talk to, the books that I read, most of them are trying to impart wisdom to everybody. When you read Frederick Douglass, his whole book is to impart wisdom on the past and what he hopes the future to be. W.E.B. Du Bois, another good author that I do like, when he talks about the Negro in business, and it does say the Negro in business is a book, right? And when he talks about up out of, I would say up out of Africa, but I forgot the author for that one. And then he wrote a journal. He's talking about where he is and where he expects us to be. And I think those are the things in which we must strive to put inside the heads of our kids, because I'm not going to be here forever. But I know that if I'm diligent and I make sure that my kids know, because the legacy just isn't wealth. It's nice to have wealth, but wealth without knowledge is will be parted very quickly.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that if you're giving, like, summer kids are just in love. I love everything and good. Impart love to your child. Let your child know that they're well loved and they're taken care of, and they can bring love into the world and show the world how to have love.
Hmm.
If your kid is a business minded person, give your kid business. There's no problem. There's no wrongness with learning how to count money. There's nothing wrong with learning how to understand compound interest. There's nothing wrong. One of the books in which one of the four books is also Damon learns to earn, and it's a book written for kids. There's a lot of financial books out there, and since it took me a while to learn, I'm always putting that stuff in front of my kids to say, hey, this is where I messed up, this is where I want you to do, this is what I want you to go. And I'm putting those things in front of them, and it's just not finances, it's also everywhere I live in Christian, the way in which I do business, the way in which I talk. I'm letting my kids know these things work, these things don't,
Hmm.
and it puts you in a better position that as I get older, I'm imparting, and that's what the inheritance is. I'm imparting into my kids. This is how you make money. This is how money goes. This is how the system flows. And this is how you can reap what you sow in the system. This is how it looks. And it's not just about money, it's about happiness, it's about friends. When the Bible says if you want friends, show yourself friendly. Well, then you gotta be friendly. You can't be a stick in the mud. You got to be able to go with the flow and know that your friends have different ideas and viewpoints. And it's those things. So as we come to a conclusion of these 12 weeks, that's what everybody needs to take away here. One of your disciplines need to be financial understanding, and don't get hit with something that you don't know when you have the time and the knowledge to do it. Even if it's from Financial Fridays, we're here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Faz, you got anything for that?
Yeah. I think that, most of the time, we get beat down so much that, we forget that we can do this, and I think a lot of times we take the easy road that's most comfortable for us, versus, challenging ourselves to step up to that next place. At first, it'll be a little uncomfortable, and like I said, it'll be a short term discomfort, but long term, it'll be well worth it. And you'll live a better life. You'll enjoy life, and you'll be able to enjoy your life with your children at a different level. And the whole idea of really being able to set another generation in motion, because we got a lot of undoing to do. We've set some bad examples, to our children, um, you know, uh, coming up and behind us, and it's because a lot of us didn't know, you know, and so
Yeah.
we have to begin to turn that around, because even as a community, when you think about the trillions of dollars that we spend every year and not to really have a space for our own, that's kind of disturbing a little bit, and even when you think about our churches, we got these pockets of people, but we really don't own anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about the building and different things like that. I'm saying collectively, the Bible talks about putting 10,000 to flight. You know what I mean? But we have to be able to begin to come together. It would be great to be able to say, okay, let's get 10 people and let's go buy a shopping mall, and let's start a Black Wall Street right here in Milwaukee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be able to teach our children, you know, how to begin to make six figures, in grade school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it seems
Yeah.
like it's impossible, but it ain't. It's really all about habits and being consistent, and small steps, little by little. And that thing grows so fast, it'll grow so fast. And you'll be amazed what we can do. but we have to get to a place where our mindset is different, that we can begin to see greater, and it's time for us to rise up. Now I sound like a black militant now, don't I?
I'm trying, man. I like that. My
Yeah,
biggest thing is I think some people are just scared because we do have places like Black Wall Street that got burnt up, or Central Parks where they ran everybody out and they flooded it and they made it into a park. We got places like Atlanta, Georgia, where they torched the entire town. You got Northwood, and Greenwood down south where they torched the entire town because the people was doing good. And to those out there that's thinking like, man, it's gonna happen again. Just know that you can't plan for catastrophics.
yeah,
Things may happen, but we can learn from the past. Hey, guess what? When we build this right here, when we build it, we're gonna put a big old gate around it.
yeah.
This right here, we build it. No, we're gonna have a whole lot more security. We're
Mm,
gonna buy our own airfield. We're gonna have our own farmers out there. It's those things that we can learn from and then add to. Black Wall Street is phenomenal, and the stuff that they did was excellent. They did an excellent job, and they did get crushed out by a bunch of angry whites that was at that time. And yes, the skin color was white, and yes, they did burn the town down, right? And they did rebuild. That's just history.
mhm,
That's not to say that it won't happen again, but we can work so it don't. I
mhm,
think me and one of my brothers was talking about that, was about putting going back to Brownsville in Milwaukee, and then putting in a shopping center, putting down in a movie theater, putting back in a skating ring, so
mhm.
it's not out because everything that we do, if you notice, is like skating. Who does the majority of the skating? Not ice skating, regular roller skating. Then why do another group have that? The most of the gas stations that's in the urban area. Well, why do we not own most of the gas stations inside our own area? In other areas, the people who live there own a lot of their gas stations. Those are the things in which is just a mindset and a discipline to get it done. And yes, I'm already aware of the hardships. Trust me, I've been through them, and I probably got a whole lot more to go through. So I can tell you that discipline is key, patience is key, but I can see the fruit of my labor after 20 years. I can see the fruit of my labor within 10 years. The people I talk to now are all on board. I also got more people willing to do the same thing. Like, hey, yo, we need to make everybody financially literate. It's a lot more out there to get us all on the same page.
Yeah,
And I believe in us.
mhm, yeah, yeah. I think we got an invitation to start down in Mississippi there. She said, "Come revitalize there," and I think that's important that we create that. I think with the six-figure flow, when we begin to experience the six-figure flow, and we pull together a group of investors from our six-figure flow, and we can go into an area like that, put in housing, or something that would benefit the community, but it would also bring residual back
Yes.
into the six-figure club. I guess I'm creating a six-figure club now. I have to come up with another name. I don't like club, but the six-figure group.
Okay. We are available on the J Connect in case anybody don't know. It's called the J Connect Network. Put your name in. Let's revitalize something we already got. We got the J Connect. Let's get the J Connect. It's the J Connect Network. And we gonna put that back on, Pastor. I'm telling you, everybody chime in, hashtag it, get it out there. Meet you at the J. That's it. Hashtag meet you at the J.
So it's so important though that we begin to think, globally. We begin to think outside of just our household, and as we begin to strive for financial freedom, the components of being able to flow in six figures is going to, compel you to invest in something. You don't have to do real estate, but you're gonna have to do something,
Yes.
and you have to look for opportunities in order to assign your money so that your money can grow money. You know, that's the whole objective. so that you could be in a position that when these great ideas come, you can be in position to be able to say, "Oh yeah, I'll be a part of that," and then we'll really be able to see not only just um, our personal households financial free, but we began to create communities of financial freedom, and that's going to be that's going to be awesome. You know,
Yeah,
the six figure collective.
that's what I'm talking about. Y'all think I'm joking? I am a pastor. If you tell me we got 5 to 6 people, let's do that. Let's actually start making moves
Yeah,
because I'm all about putting people in the right position so they can benefit. And it's not even about me anymore. I made the money I was gonna make. Now people are like, what do you mean? I'm decent, so I'm good. It's now about putting people in the right position to get to where they need to get to. Right now, I'm real focusing on all my mentees. I'm focused on my brothers that are in business. I'm focused on my kids. Yeah, even my kids. I'm focused on a lot of people to getting everybody where they need to be. And I think I'm starting on my church too. So I got my church in my view. So we making it. So Mississippi, yeah, we can go down there. Long as we got food down there, we can be in Mississippi. I'm a food eater. We gotta have food where I go.
well, one thing I know they got down there is some food. Yeah, they
If
they
they
got
feed
they got some food.
if they feed, I'm eating. I'll be down there. I'll, I'll make a
Well,
mistake and
listen,
get down there.
we're almost out of time for another Financial Friday. And
Yeah.
listen, I pray that you all, are really gearing up. We haven't had a couple testimonies lately, but early on and maybe halfway through our being on Financial Friday, we have people testify of being financially free by using the tools and the tips that we're giving, and so to have those testimonies has just been awesome. And there's very few places I can go in the city where somebody don't recognize me and thank me for helping our community. And so that's always a good thing. However, I would love to see the evidence. I appreciate the thank yous and the compliments, but I would love to see the evidence in the lives of the people, that's, they went from rags to riches, or they went from, poor to prosperous, or they went from okay to awesome, or they went from here to there. And so it's just so important that you make small adjustments using the information. And the information that we're giving you has been proven, and it will work if you work it. Uh,
Yes.
she said, "Come on down. You come. We're going. We're going to eat good. All good is all caps. Good is all caps. So you gonna have something to eat. You ain't gonna eating is gonna be the least of what you got to worry about. You know.
That's all I need to. That's all I need to worry about. Everything else comes easy. I,
Yeah.
I'll be down there in about half past shadow. I'll be right.
Yeah. That
I'll be,
catfish tastes like it just came out the water. Yeah.
don't tell me with a good time, Pastor. I'll be on Financial Fridays like this. Hey guys, out here in Mississippi, just woke up, been eating all day. Like,
We live from Mississippi, Financial Friday. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have to get us a mobile home and start take it on the road.
helping people one place at a time. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Well, listen, we are out of time. Thank you again for tuning in to another Financial Friday, where we are rising up out of financial slumps and thriving in financial freedom. And I'm your host, Dr. A.D. Burns. My co-host, closing comments.
It's good to see you. I'll see you in 30 days. Oh yeah.
In 30 days, where you gonna be in 30 days?
I'm probably gonna be in Mississippi. I thought that's where we going. I thought that's where we was going.
Mississippi, we'll see you in 30 days. All right. Well, listen,
Uh,
thank you all for tuning
uh,
in. We look forward to seeing you all next week, Financial Friday. as we continue to wrap up our 90-day challenge and as we get ready to launch our six-figure flow. Be blessed.